1-800-449-8686. Now, Phil Hendrie.
Some pretty disturbing reports in the press this week concerning the inhumane treatment of animals. The allegation is that certain food processors that are contracted with Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken, have employees who have been inhumane in the treatment of chickens. These animals that are being processed for food, they have been stepped on, they've been thrown against walls. In other words, it's a pretty gruesome story. I'm speaking with a gentleman by the name of Austin Amarca. Mr. Amarca, you're an employee, you're employed by a company called Brewer Poultry, correct, sir?
Yeah, that is correct, yeah.
All right, which supplies chicken and chicken byproducts to a number of fast food chains. Now, you've seen the reports in the press, correct?
I've seen the reports, yeah, but...
All right, well, they're having to do with workers in these plants kicking chickens, stepping on them. In other words, inhumane treatment.
Well, I want to make it clear. Number one, I'm a vegetarian. I do not eat any meat, whether it is beef, chicken, pork, and so on. So where I work, the chicken that we process, I will never eat it. I will not be one of these people that eats chicken that comes out of Brewer Poultry.
Right, but you were one of 4 individuals at your workplace that was disciplined in light of cruelty to these animals. Is that correct?
Well, if you say what I did, I kicked one chicken. I threw one out of a car window off of a bridge.
Did you take this chicken from the plant?
It was a joke, and I certainly didn't mean it to be anything other than a joke, sir.
But you were disciplined. You did this.
Yes, I did, but you need to understand, I'm a vegetarian. There are certain things...
Well, what is the difference? I mean...
Well, there are certain things that you can't hold me responsible for. I did work in a chicken rendering plant, but I do not eat the byproduct. The people that eat the chicken, those are the ones, Mr. Hendrie, that I think are the real criminals, and I think this news story is misplaced. In our country, we eat approximately 52 pounds per capita of chicken a year. Now, you can multiply that by the population. That is a lot of animal cruelty, and that's what I want to focus on, the inhumanity of eating these animals, which is unnecessary. You can get useful protein from soy products, bean products, and so on.
But you admit you kicked a chicken. In one instance, you ran one over with your car, and in another instance, you strangled one?
Yes, sir, that is correct. And I have been reprimanded by the Brewer people.
But a reprimand is hardly a punishment for kicking, running over, and strangling an animal.
Well, if the reprimand, sir, goes on my permanent record, it can stop me from getting a raise, and in this economy, that stabs me deeper than anything. And the one who is really suffering here is me. It's not the chicken. It's not the person who's suffering here is me, and not this chicken that I allegedly ran over. And
are you saying you didn't run the animal over?
What I want to do is I want to get back to the real issue.
Well, did you run that animal over?
The real issue here, sir, is...
Did you run that animal over with your car?
The real issue here, sir, is the animal abuse...
Well, I guess you don't want to answer my question.
Is the animal abuse... I'm going to answer your question. The issue is the animal abuse that is being practiced by the patrons, the customers of Colonel Sanders, Popeyes, Boston Market, El Pollo Loco, any of these... there is a kookaroo that's about 2 blocks from my home that I drive by every night, and I drive by it very slowly. And I'll tell you, the reason is because I want the people inside to see me, and I want them to see me seeing them. And I'm a witness to their butchering up and their abuse of these animals. Why do you talk to me about an incident or this or that where any one of a few things might have been happening? I might have been drinking. I might have been angry with my kids. I kicked the chicken into the parking lot that day, but the animal had tried to peck at me, and it could be painful, and that is nothing compared to the millions of Americans who encourage the poultry business in this country to send millions of chickens to their deaths, and then they eat the animal's dead flesh with their children, with their spouses, in a ghoulish festival of unparalleled horror and inhumanity to these animals.
Why do you work, sir, in the poultry business when you don't approve of people eating chicken or meat for that matter? Where you yourself have kicked the animals and run them over with your car, why do you work in this business?
I was raised on a farm, and I always enjoyed working in the farm business. And I'm getting into middle age. Jobs are not that plentiful, but I was raised on a farm.
But you kicked the chicken. In one complaint, you threw one from the roof of the rendering plant.
I had been given a new suit when I was a young man. If you want to hear the story.
All right, let me give the phone number first, 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. Mr. Austin Amarca is an individual who has admitted abusing animals working at a poultry rendering plant. Now, these chicken that Brewer processes are for a variety of fast food chains.
But well, if I, Mr. Hendrie, am going to be indicted, I want to make it clear to the people I'm a vegetarian, that I do not eat meat, and I do not...
All right. I will give you the props for not eating meat and not eating poultry and not eating fish, but I don't know how you balance that out with the fact that you threw a chicken from the top of the rendering. I mean, you know...
Well, sir, I let the record show you're the one that's laughing.
I understand that. I can't imagine a man doing these things and then trying to justify it, because
let me tell you how I justify it. If I was drinking, if I was angry at my kids, you can't hold me responsible because I ran a chicken over with my car or anything else. I don't eat chicken. What about those people at the Colonel Sanders and Popeyes that come in and line up for that stuff with their children, with their families? Those are the people I'm talking about.
All right, 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. Austin Amarca is a worker at the Brewer poultry plant, making the point that the real people that are culpable here are people that eat chicken, not people that... But you've read the stories of these. Do you think it's right that people who work in these plants harm these animals, that they step on them, that they throw them against walls, they make their last moments on this earth? As horrible as that?
I'm not here to comment on what other men have allegedly done. I don't know what other men have done.
Well, would you like to comment in the event that this is true? What do you think of it?
Well, sir, would you like to comment in the event that the moon is made out of green cheese? Would you like to comment on that? I don't want...
Well, sir, I'll comment. If the moon's made out of green cheese, I guess that's good because I dig cheese.
Well, I don't think, you can be glib if you want, but I don't think that...
Well, it's not... A hypothetical question like that can't be compared to what I said to you. You know that there's animal cruelty going on in these places, don't you?
No, sir, I do not.
You did?
I did what?
You ran a chicken over, you stepped on it, you threw it off the roof of a building, you threw it out of your car. What did you do? You took the chicken from the plant?
Yes, sir.
Drove down the road with it a few miles and then threw it out of your car?
I threw it off a bridge, yeah. Because we had had a couple of drinks, and some of the guys were following. We were going to go meet over at the Lager Lounge, and we were it was just a wild afternoon. But again, I don't eat chicken. I'm not responsible for the murder of billions of chicken. I eat soy products. I do not eat fish. I eat a lot of edamame. I eat a lot of salads. I have, recently, I've taken up yoga.
Do you continue to abuse chickens?
Well, do I abuse chickens? And no more than anybody that eats them.
All right, so I'm getting the drift here, sir, that because you feel...
Anybody that eats chicken is guilty of far more abuse than me.
You were going to start a story about why, when you were a kid or something?
Yes, sir. When I was a young man, and I'm glad you brought me back to that, I had been given a new suit I was going to wear to our first high school formal.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in San Angelo, Texas, originally.
Okay.
And I had this suit laid out that had just been pressed, and my sister, who had this pet chicken that she had adopted from the hens we had, and it had got it into the home, it got up on my suit, it defecated all over the suit. And
so you don't like chickens because of that?
I don't have a problem with chickens. I remember my mother, though, took a wet towel, tried to dab the chicken droppings off of it. But once that time, ever since then, I've got a problem with chickens. Yeah, but not as bad a problem as people who eat them every day.
And you're a vegetarian?
I'm a vegetarian, and I have been all of my life, so I don't eat them, and I'm not responsible for their murder. And I'll give you the smell of a chicken and the smell of chicken droppings sometimes gives me a migraine headache, and sometimes I forget things or I black out, but I do not, and I am not guilty of any more abuse of a chicken, in fact, less abuse than the people that eat them.
All right. You running over a chicken with your car is less abusive than people who go to Colonel Sanders and get a bucket on a Friday night.
Absolutely, without question. Those people are in a ghoulish and horrific manner eating the dead flesh of an animal that didn't have to die and didn't have to find its way segue into the Brewer Poultry plant where, yes, a few of us get out of hand and throw them against walls and things like that.
And man, never mind what Brewer Poultry is thinking about you being on my show right now.
I don't care what they think. I told the people in the newspaper that I talked to today, I don't care what they think.
Even if you lose your job?
Even if I lose my job, yes, sir.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Bizarre story of, and if you saw the paper this week, there are allegations that chickens that are being rendered as food by companies that service Kentucky Fried Chicken, among others. There are allegations that those animals are being mistreated, that there is cruelty, that there is abuse of these animals. Mr. Austin Amarca works for Brewer Poultry. They, I think, produce animal byproduct, etc., for a variety of chicken chains. He has admitted to having run one over, thrown one against a wall, thrown one off the roof of a building, kicked one, thrown one out of his car, off a bridge, and he says that his abuse is nowhere near as bad as the abuse of people that eat chicken. He's a vegetarian. 1-800-449-8686. 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show.
Phil Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686. Living on the edge. Always teetering, never quite falling off. 1-800-449-8686. The Phil Hendrie Show is back.
Do you remember, Mr. Amarca, I'm talking with Austin Amarca, who works for Brewer Poultry. Now, this is one of the companies that's being investigated for abuse of animals. These are chickens that I understand, sir, are being used eventually in fast food chains. But to have these animals at your beck and to be abusing these animals before they're actually rendered as food, you don't find this as bad. You don't find it worse than people eating chicken?
No, as I said, we eat 52 pounds per capita in this country. You're trying to tell me that some kid sitting with his chicken sandwich, and I'm going to take the heat. You got a kid out there in America today. You got kids all over this country going in and getting their chicken McNuggets, or they're getting their bucket of chicken or their Popeyes fried chicken, and they sit down and they tear into this poor animal's dead flesh, but I'm the guy that's going to get the abuse because I've got an issue, and because I have had blackouts, I don't deny that.
So what are you doing, man? Are you blacking out and you're throwing chickens out of cars? I mean, to me...
Again, let the record show you find this amusing. I do not, sir.
Well, I find it strange that you're trying to justify your actions because there's people eating chicken. That's all I'm saying. Are you at work now?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Here is Anne Marie. Anne Marie, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show with Austin Amarca.
Thank you, Henry. I want to talk to, I won't even call you a gentleman, because what you're doing to those chickens there's no excuse for that. That is outright cruelty.
Ma'am,
and
do you eat chicken?
And you have no right to do that.
Do you eat chicken, ma'am?
Animal.
Do you eat chicken, ma'am?
Sometimes.
All right, that's brutal, horrible cannibalism.
No, sir. You know what you're doing.
You're tearing into the flesh of those.
Well, I have been a vegetarian also, but I'm also an animal lover, and I'm an animal activist.
You couldn't be if you eat chicken. You couldn't be.
Only if I know that the company that's providing that chicken handles its chickens humanely.
Can you tell me the company that you deal with, ma'am? I'd like to know the name of them.
I don't remember offhand, but I do look into
Is it Sanderson Poultry?
Because you cannot stop people from eating chicken, but you can work on the laws that protect those chickens.
Protect them, ma'am? They're going to be killed. How do they protect them? I mean, what do you mean protect them? They're going to be killed so that some little tiny kid can have his chicken sandwich and everybody dumps on me.
There is a humane way of
murdering a chicken.
But for you to kick and stomp on a chicken and throw it over a bridge, that is sadistic. And you cannot blame chicken eaters for your behavior.
I understand that, but I blacked out at that time. And I'm not clear.
Well, how do you know the chicken was thrown out of your car?
I was told that by the patrol car following me.
But you're the one that committed the act, sir.
That is
You're
true.
the one that kicked and stomped and threw that chicken out.
But I would submit to
You
you.
have to answer for your own behavior.
Did you pick a chicken up by one leg and throw it down a football field?
Yes, sir, I did.
Why?
We had been drinking and we were playing some stupid game. I forget.
Well, that's stupid. Don't you have any power of reasoning?
I do.
Does the liquor control you, or do you control your liquor?
No, I've had, since the rocket sled accident, a number of blackouts. I used to test rocket sleds for the United States Air Force. As a result of the accident in New Mexico, Alamogordo, New Mexico, 1979, I was no longer fit for service. I was discharged, and I'm working now at Brewer Poultry. Now, I was told about these acts, but I still say, you sitting there at home, delicately picking through the bones of a chicken, that makes me want to vomit. Is that what you do, ma'am? Do you go get one of those barbecue chickens and then pull its legs off?
No, I don't.
Oh, God. It makes me want to puke.
What you're doing is a cop-out for your own behavior.
Listen, Mr.
And you are sadistic.
Mr. Amarca, we have a tape recording of you that I know you were aware was made.
Yes, sir, I do.
This is a tape recording of you, and it was one of the acts of abuse that was alleged. Mark, if you've got that, let's hear this.
All right, and the ball is down, the kick is up. It's good.
All right, was that you kicking a chicken?
Yes, sir, it was.
Were you kicking it like a football?
I have to imagine I was, yes, sir.
Because I heard you say the ball is down, the kick is up, and it's good.
Yeah. But Anna Marie, how come everybody's dumping on me and you're sitting there tearing into a poor chicken's flesh with your new capped teeth or whatever you're doing? See, that's the thing that pisses me off.
All right. Thank you, Anne Marie, for your call. 1-800-449-8686. Mr. Austin Amarca has joined us to talk about the problems that are happening at the chicken rendering plants.
What are you laughing at?
The ball is down, the kick is up, it's good. Here is Mary. Go ahead, Mary.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're on the air, ma'am. Go ahead.
Hi.
Yes, hi. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Fine.
It was very wrong the way that you killed a chicken.
What do you mean I didn't kill a chicken? I threw it out of a car.
Well, you killed it.
I guess. Do you eat chicken? Same question.
Yes, I do.
Okay, same question. How can you justify what you do? Yeah, you can't.
I eat chicken. There's nothing wrong with eating chicken.
Yes, there is. You murdered the chicken so you can eat it.
There's a humane way of killing them.
Well, which way is that, ma'am? You ought to see the way they kill chicken these days.
I think they cut their heads off.
That's what you think. What actually happens is the chickens are all herded out in the middle of just a penned-in area, and a guy walks through there with a handgun.
Oh, no, they don't.
Yes, they do, ma'am.
What?
No, they don't.
Absolutely. Yes, they do. That's how they kill them now.
I don't think so.
Well, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just some old lady.
I don't think
Wait
you
a
know
second.
what you're talking about either.
Yeah, my ass. I work at a chicken rendering plant.
Look at. Are you saying
They wander out. They send the chickens out, get them out there, and a guy just with a pistol starts picking them off.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
You had no right doing what you were doing.
Well, you don't have any right eating chicken.
That's very inhumane.
Look, here comes one right now. God, I hate him.
1-800-449-8686. Austin Amarca and chickens.
One 1-800-449-8686. The Phil Hendrie Show is back.
Austin Amarca is with us. Mr. Amarca, first of all, I want to tell you how much I admire you for coming on our program and admitting that you have been responsible for this kind of abuse that we're talking about. These rendering plants that the allegations are the workers there have abused animals that are going to be rendered for food. I understand that. But there's no reason to take a chicken and do what some of these people are alleged to have done, throw them against walls. In your case, you ran one over with your car, threw one off the roof of a house, threw one down the length of a football field, whatever you guys were doing. And the evidence against you, sir, is pretty compelling. We've got recordings. We're going to play another one of what was going on in that plant that day. Were you aware that you were being recorded?
No, I was not at that time. My understanding is law enforcement had gained access.
Well, we have a recording. You heard the one we heard of you kicking the chicken. We've got another one that I think people are going to be shocked to hear, of you blowing up one of the hen houses.
I don't have any real recollection of that, sir.
Well, you know what? The lady might be right.
But, Mr. Hendrie, let me say this. Again, you want to indict me while some old lady, like a couple of the ones that called tonight, sit and pick through the bones of a barbecued chicken they just picked up at Vaughn's or Kroger's or what have you, picking through the bones like you can imagine they're picking through the bones of their dead husbands, looking for a piece of gold. I find that far more ghoulish and horrific and gothic than anything I've done.
All right, 1-800 for you're a vegetarian, right?
Yes, sir, I am. I do not eat those animals.
All right. There's another gentleman on the line here. His name is Sylvan, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Are you a vegetarian, sir?
Yes, I am a vegetarian.
Go ahead.
I cannot believe he is sitting here trying to justify his treatment of those animals just because he's a vegetarian. That makes no sense.
Wait a minute. I'm not eating those animals.
It doesn't matter if you're eating them or not. I don't eat them either. But you still do not treat any living animal like that. There's no excuse. You cannot justify it.
People that eat chicken are worse than me is what I'm saying.
And what does that make you? You don't eat them, but you still kill them just the same.
Well, at least I'm not as bad as they are.
You are bad. You're killing them. You are killing them. There is no I'm worse than they are.
Wait a second.
You are killing them.
No, that's easy for you to say, because why don't you walk up to the average person that eats chicken? Why don't you go to a Popeyes or one of these Kentucky Fried Chicken and say to them, look at how you're butchering them up.
I see it every day.
Do you walk in?
I see them eating them every day, but you know what? They're not throwing them off a building.
Oh, wait a second. Now you're saying eating them ain't as bad as throwing them off of a building.
I'm not saying eating them is not. What I'm saying is you are just as bad as they are. You cannot say that you're any better.
I reject that, sir. I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with it because you don't want to accept responsibility for your actions.
Well, that's
you treated those chickens unethically. And as a vegetarian, you should have love for all animals anyway. So there's no way, as a true vegetarian, you should have been throwing those animals off of a roof or doing whatever you were doing to them.
I am a vegetarian. And
do you have a problem with animals, sir?
I told you I've got a problem.
Man, I have a degree in animal science. I don't have a problem with animals. I love animals.
I don't either. But what I'm saying, I do have a problem with chickens. I will tell you that.
Well, okay, so how can you sit here and say that you're a vegetarian, you love animals, but you hate chickens, so you throw them off a roof?
Well, simply because of this. I resent being indicted as the bad guy here when you let some old lady go in and get her box of McNuggets, go home, dig into them like the vampire that she is, and you don't say nothing to her.
But, dude, you are the bad guy because guess what? First of all, you're working in the rendering plant. You're working there, so you're contributing to that lady eating those chickens. Second of all, you're killing them.
I grew up on a farm.
Okay, but there's no excuse. You can still get another job if you wanted to.
Hey,
you don't have to work in a rendering plant just because you worked on a farm.
I'm a middle-aged man, and the job market ain't exactly what we would call, spilling over with all kinds of jobs.
Now, no, there's jobs you just have to find.
Well, let me say this, if I could jump in, gentlemen. If you got the job, you have the job. You're having blackouts. You're kicking chickens off of rooftops. I mean, dude, you need another job, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't think I do.
You don't think?
Okay, so if you didn't have this job, what would you be kicking off of rooftops then?
No, I'm just saying, why should I quit my job when you give a pass to some little punky kid eating his chicken leg for lunch?
Dude, okay, are you against those people eating chicken?
Yes, sir.
You're contributing to it by working in the rendering plant.
Exactly. You're working in a rendering plant, so...
I got to have a job.
Yeah, but it's weird.
It doesn't matter. If you feel strongly that against the unethical treatment of animals, you don't take that job.
Here we
go. I feel strongly. I won't... You're taking blood money. That's blood money.
You know, this is great of you. I love people that like to moralize about what another guy ought to do. What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm actually a microbiologist.
Okay, well, are you hurting animals and stuff?
Not at all.
Actually,
we're helping animals.
You might be hurting microbes.
Well, okay, laugh if you want, you guys, but, I'm hanging here by my you-know-whats, and a little kid gets a pass while he digs into a big...
All right, look at Sylvan. Thank you very much for your call. 1-800-449-8686. Martha, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show with Austin and Marca.
Okay, I just want to say that you're a psycho, and I think you need a psychiatric treatment, and because you're not supposed to do that to the animals.
Why do you think I'm a psycho? Why am I psycho?
Yeah, maybe your parents, they treat you that way, the way that you treated the chickens, when you were little or whatever. Maybe that's why you're treating the animals that way, because that's the way that, I see it in you.
Well, a chicken defecated on my suit.
Ah.
Okay. So now you're kicking them like footballs?
Well, think to yourself instead of doing to the chickens.
What?
And maybe you can feel the same way. Maybe you can throw all the way bouncing yourself all over instead of bouncing to the chickens.
Do you eat chickens in Indonesia?
And I love the chickens. I love any kind of chickens.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. I bet you wring their necks the same way I would, too.
Well, let me tell you something. You should wring your neck the same way that you're doing to the chickens.
You know what? Every night,
you're supposed to be in the electric chair.
I know that
You're supposed to
you,
be alone.
every night,
people
you're
like you
getting the
supposed to
polio
be
going
in
for
the
your
electric
man.
chair because that's what you deserve.
Yeah, that's right. Let's kill people for killing chickens. Why did you go back to whatever the hell it is, India?
I'm not India anyway.
Hey, do you use chicken bones when you do voodoo?
Let me tell you something.
I bet you use chicken bones when you do that voodoo.
To you, and maybe you don't have to do the people like me like a mommy.
So you're using the chicken bones when you're laying that voodoo on somebody.
Chickens. I don't use the chicken.
Hey.
And believe it or not, we have a farm.
Let me ask you something.
Chickens in the right way.
Is it hard to eat a chicken leg with a basket on your head?
I love it. It's squeezed and
yeah,
yummy.
You sure you're talking about chicken?
The same thing.
All right, now wait a minute. I got this recording, Mr. Amarca, of you.
I don't care whatever you record. You're supposed to be an electric check, and I hold it for you an electric check over there, whatever you are, in which state you are right now.
Hey, I'll see you down at Bayfront Park. You'll be the one with the big rear end, right?
All right, look, fine. I want you to hear this.
You do?
I hung up on her.
That's the hottest thing I had going for 2 weeks. You hung up on her? God!
You ain't going to be happy. Did you blow up a hen house?
No, my attorney told me not to.
You blew a hen house up, didn't you? Using your cell phone to activate an explosive device. Now, this is pretty sick, and I want my listeners to listen to this.
Mr. Hendrie, I'm not going to comment. My attorney said I don't have to answer.
You don't have to answer anything. This is a recording that the FBI gave us of you activating an explosive device that you placed in a hen house with your cell phone. Go ahead and roll it.
All right, watch this.
Did you hear that?
I heard it, but I don't believe it.
Wait a minute, man. I'm going to play it again for you, because this is pretty twisted.
Mr. Hendrie, again, on advice of my attorney.
Yeah, on the advice of your attorney. Listen to this. Excuse me, man.
Well, you going to play it?
Yeah, I'm going to play it.
FBI tape, Jim, so about the...
So you... Did you do that?
Yes, sir, I did, but that's not the whole tape.
It's not the whole tape.
No, sir, it is not. And if you are going to play the FBI recording, you have to play it all the way through, or else you are guilty of slander.
Is there more, Mark?
All right.
Then let's play the entire tape.
All right, thank you very much. Gee.
Here is the entire tape as recorded by the FBI. Oh, I forgot that part.
Yeah, you forgot that part. I blew taps for the chickens. And then, along came a chicken with a hand grenade.
And blew up Boston? Okay. 1-800-stupidest bit we've done yet. I'm sure the cat plays taps after he blows up a hen house using his cell phone to activate the explosive device. Now, that's what I call animal cruelty. That's what I call hysterically funny animal cruelty. All right, 1-800-449-8686. You got to check out that story about the chickens. It's true, man. There's some pretty sick bastards out there. You know, any guy that abuses an animal is going to wind up abusing human beings eventually. So I say if you find someone that does abuse animals, that it's perfectly fine to beat their heads in with a baseball bat, because sooner or later they're going to do it to a human being. You'll be saving a human life. Remember, save a life, take a life. Words to live by. 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show.
Phil Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686.
When was your last pork chop inhalation? These are the questions I ask myself.
And I agree with you on that. If someone comes up into your face with a loaded weapon...
Would you excuse me for just a minute?
What a pig.
You know, you couldn't have staged this any better.
What a pig.
I've been called every name on your program, Mr. Hendrie.
Yes, you have, sir.
Some kid comes up to me with a gun, and I'll make it his worst day.
And you would be within your rights to defend yourself, and that's not the problem.
And then I get into the car, and I drive to the parents' house. That's right. Keep laughing. Because when the day comes I come to your house, of course, your kids have all moved out.
You see how seriously I'm taking this?
You know what, lady?
You're a joke. You are an absolute joke, my friend. You are a joke. And the way you're reacting to me is exactly what the problem is, because I've challenged you, and I'm laughing at you, and you're getting offended.
You said you went to school in the 30s. You don't know anything about what's going on.
I went to school in the 50s.
No, you said the 30s.
No, the 50s.
Let's remember who we're talking to here.
Yeah, right.
I'm a teacher. You said you went to school in the 30s.
No, that shows you that you don't listen at all.
Mr. Hendrie, didn't she say that?
I don't recall.
No, you said you grew up in the 30s with serial movies. Those are the kind of movies they were showing in the 30s.
No, I said I grew up in the 50s.
So that makes you what?
And I came home from school and I watched
you 80 years old, and that
on
means you don't know
TV
anything
like
about what's
Zorro and Wyatt and Hopalong Cassidy and Roy Rogers and Gene Autry. And these people taught our kids that the way that you handle your problems with someone is that you try to talk it out. They hardly ever pulled the gun, and if they did, they never even got close. But today's movies, all they do, I'm going to speak my mind whether you like it or not.
Oh, you're all pissed off, aren't you?
No.
Yeah, I got you pissed.
You know what? You're a very rude person.
Oh, come on. Well, you grow up, sir.
No, I got her all
You're
pissed.
being quite rude, sir.
I got her all pissed
You've had plenty of airtime. I've been listening to you all the way from Salt Lake.
Absolutely.
Well, I can tell you,
shut up a minute
you were
and let
around during
somebody else
Prohibition,
talk.
so you know what violence is. When those booze runners were being killed when you were a kid.
She said it wasn't the 30s. It was the 50s.
Oh,
that proves the point that he doesn't listen, obviously.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. So the problem is that
did you
we
meet
taught our
Elliot Ness,
kids
or did you
better.
just read about
We
him?
taught our kids not to be violent, to try to work things out by talking, by using dialect, to increase their brain power in learning how to strategize, to compromise,
All right, if
to
that's
be able
true, then
to
how
get
come
along
they had
together.
how come they had the Watts
have
riots?
totally lost sight
All right.
of that. As a parent, as a teacher,
Yeah.
you have totally lost it.
Are you black?
Who, me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you didn't grow up black, otherwise you wouldn't think the 50s were so great.
The I didn't say the 50s were great, but I'm saying it's better
got her
than the
again.
Rambo-style
Got her
movies that
again.
we see
All right,
today.
sir, I'm going to hang up on you.
Can't take it, can you? You and this broad can't take it. Well,
And don't call her a broad. I'm hanging up on you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what happened to you, Hendrie? You lost your balls. You lost your balls, and along with it, you lost your manhood. I'm the only one standing up anymore. I'm not going to take it anymore.
I think you're out of your mind. You shouldn't be teaching kids. You should be in a nut house.
Yeah, that's what they said. They all said that about me. Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. Some kid twitches a finger, oh, yeah. Moves a muscle, yeah. I'm going to waste him right where he stands. You can bet your bottom dollar. Excuse me for a minute. Okay, took care of it. I just had to leave the room to fart.
Yeah, get out of here. 1-800-449-8686. What is this guy? What is this, the outlaw Josie Wales? God! Oh, yeah. She grew up in the 30s. Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686.
The Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686. Survivor Compton. One 1-800-449-8686. The Phil Hendrie Show is back.
I'm not going to talk to you anymore, Mr. Dozier, okay?
You don't want to talk to me anymore, okay? Because you don't...
I think you're out of your mind. You're not a teacher. You're a madman. You're a maniac. And you don't belong on the air.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
You know what you look like to me with your cheap bag and your good shoes? You look like a rube. Good nutrition's giving you length of bone, but you're still not too much removed from poor white trash. All those tedious, sticky fumblings in the back seats of cars, and you dreamt of getting away, didn't you, Phil Hendrie? Getting anywhere, getting all the way to the FBI.
What? Jesus. Dozier's nuts. Do that again, Vernon. I like that.
You know what you look like to me with your good bag and your bad shoes? You look like a rube. A well-scrubbed, hustling rube. Good nutrition's giving you length of bone, but you're not too far much removed from poor white trash and all those tedious, sticky fumblings in the back seats of cars while you dreamt of getting out, getting anywhere, getting all the way to the FBI. Can I get the check?
Get out of here. I had to dump myself again. How many times this week, Mark? I said the F word. I didn't really say it. It just sort of went F, and then I... All right, 1-800-449-8686. Animal rights. Oh, by the way, just before we get into anything else, I want to remind you that that was me doing the voice of Vernon Dozier.
Well, I don't know.
Listen to... Is that your son?
Yeah, get out of here, Brian. Get out of here with... Get out of here, Brian.
Here is Cheviot Hills on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello.
Yes, sir. I've been listening to this gentleman, and I think you're the most ignorant fool I've ever listened to. I am a groundskeeper at Cheviot Hills Golf Course. Anyone can come and golf. Tiger Woods, for instance, has brought more people to see golf than you have probably ever done in your life.
A lot of blacks.
I'm sure of that. He has brought young people, old people. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. Golf is a game that anyone can play. Granted, in the old days, there were people who tried to segregate that, but that has been passed. That is not in the present. You live in a very bad...
Tell your kid to turn the rap music down.
Get out of here, Brian. Go ahead.
I'm trying to say that what you're doing is absolutely wrong.
You bet.
And you sound like a foolish man, and you sound like you're not doing your son a service.
Well, you know how it is when a white guy gets teamed up with...
No, I don't know what it's like.
All right, hold on, sir. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show. You there? You're not kidding, huh?
Well, Phil, that joke that you just made, though, is rooted in some kind of a common...
No, you know what? I like to see great champions, and I like to see great winners, and I certainly like to see the hottest thing to come along since Jack Nicklaus's early days in Tiger Woods. And I don't know that you are knowledgeable of golf to say that there's going to be all this tension.
Well, I think you have to understand, I don't want to go into a clubhouse that serves 40-ounce beers. And if a riot were to break out on any one of these gorgeous golf courses that we have, the looting of clubhouses, I don't want...
Man, aren't you a little goofy? Let me go back to the gentleman hanging on in Cheviot Hills. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. This man's comments just what he just said, 40-ounce beers, and this man you're a stupid man. Did you know a black man invented the golf tee? Did you even know that?
Well,
would you say that Calvin Pete had no place in the Professional Golfers Association?
Well, he's a tremendous golfer. No, my hat's off to Calvin Pete.
Your hat is off and you got a hole in your head. You should put it back on. You're a stupid fool.
No, wait.
I suppose
you want to start...
don't want Jews out there, too, right?
Well, you can't tell if they're Jewish or not. That's the thing. What I'm saying is...
Well, what has that got to do with it? What does that have to do with it?
No, I want to ask the guy, you work at Cheviot Hills. Is that what you said?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You're the kind of guy I'd throw out.
Do you guys serve 40-ounce beers or not?
No, we don't serve. You're not. First of all, nobody rides around on a golf cart with 40-ounce beers, and you're a real stupid man. Do you know that? You're just a stupid man. You're one of those people who creates more racism and hate just by
No,
talking
sir.
the way you're talking.
Well, I just nobody wants to see a lowered golf cart out there.
Sir?
I live in Anaheim, California.
I'm sure you do. That seems to be where a lot of people like you live.
Well, do you want to see a lowered golf cart? Do you want to see those boom boxes in the back?
Let me tell you something. A person can bring a radio on the golf course if there's headphones.
All right.
We don't allow any kind of big radios or that because it's disturbing to people that are playing.
Okay.
Anyone knows that.
Yeah,
a moron would know that, but you wouldn't know it. You're stupider than a moron, you jerk.
Well, a lot of these of your African descent golfers.
I don't want to hear that. You're disgusting.
Do you know what they know?
Anyone who wants to play golf, it's a great game of skill, and it takes a certain amount of concentration.
Well, that's true, but I got to ask a guy.
Game, we probably wouldn't have the trouble we have
Well,
now.
I need to ask you a question about Cheviot Hills. Do you guys still have all those temporary greens out there? Because you can't.
We don't have temporary greens. We have one of the finest golf courses in America.
Well, what about that big tire track that runs through the 18th fairway out there?
There is no tire track. You're out of your mind. You've never even been here. You're one of those guys who's probably never played golf. You just have a big mouth and you're a troublemaker.
No, sir. I remember.
No, yes, you are.
Well,
you're one of those. I'm a white man, and I would never think or speak the way that you do. You bring hell onto other people.
Have you gotten rid of those that temporary Andy Gump that you had near the 16th green?
What temporary? And have you golfed there?
No, but a friend of mine said that Cheviot Hills they had an outhouse.
You don't even have friends. A man like you can't have friends. You have people who laugh behind your back.
Well, have you guys finally seeded your course, or?
What do you mean seeded?
Well, that's what I'm just saying.
We have one of the finest golf courses in the United States of America.
Is there any hole in
championship? We've had tremendous. You're an idiot.
No, do you have any hole longer than 150 yards? That's all.
It's not a par 3. It's a championship course.
It's a championship course. You know nothing about golf. You know nothing about golf.
It's an executive course, right?
And bringing up Jackie Robinson into it. What does that have to do with anything?
Hey, now there was a great.
There was a young fool who made some stupid
That's
comments.
That's right.
All.
Jackie Robinson was a great man,
yes,
and
he was a great
tip
man,
of my cap.
You're a moron.
A tip of my cap to Jackie Robinson.
Say his name.
But that John Rocker, now that's a fool. Okay, now see what happens.
He did a foolish thing, and I'm sure at some point in his life he'll understand that he did a foolish thing, but he has to deal with that. But it's people like you who perpetuate the stereotypes and the
well, I heard that. Okay, I heard
that. You're a disgusting individual. Do you know that?
Well, I heard that Cheviot Hills was about 5,500 yards. Is that right?
Cheviot Hills, you're an idiot. They're 5,500 yards. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, why is it that the ladies' tees are even with the white tees?
Who puts your clothes on for you in the morning? You're an idiot.
Oh, now that's not right because
you're a jerk.
I'm just going by what I heard.
I'll tell you what you are. How's that?
The white tees and the ladies' tees are equidistant, aren't they?
Let me tell you something right now. You're the black man that invented the golf tee.
Well, it was
before that,
the game of
golf took much longer because you'd have to dig yourself out of turf. You're a stupid man.
Let me ask you a question.
You're an aggravating person. I don't understand why you're even on the air.
Well, that's fair, but who invented the ladies' tees? Was that a black guy?
Oh, you stupid idiot. There's no such thing as a ladies' tee. It's the same thing, you idiot. You're an idiot.
I think you're not being clear.
I'm not being clear. It's clear that you're a racist dog. That's what you are. I thought...
Have they upgraded the health code there?
That's why veterans fought, so you could have a place so you could say what's on your mind, but people have to remember we have to look at what you say and continue to think that you're a stupid fool. You and the rest of your hooded friends.
I don't want to park near your driving range and have my windshield put out by all those guys that are hooking the ball.
Your windshield.
Well, what happened?
You're an idiot.
How come they're constantly...
You should go through a windshield.
How come they're constantly hitting the balls in the streets out there?
There's no balls hit into the streets there. Cheviot Hills is one of the finest golf courses in America. You understand that?
Well, I understand.
And even O.J. Simpson has golfed here, and he was permitted to because he's an American citizen, regardless of reputation
See what I'm talking about?
Connotation.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Do you guys still serve your coffee in styrofoam cups? You do, don't you? See, all of that adds up.
When you serve coffee to go, of course it's in a styrofoam. Your head is made of styrofoam.
How come I can't bring a six-pack of Heineken out there with me?
We don't allow 6 packs of beer in the... We don't allow that. No
Well,
any decent golf course will not allow people to carry
alcohol
and be drunk on the course.
I'm going to tell you.
There's insurance reasons for that, you idiot.
But, you can start getting the blacks out there, and you're going to start serving that King Mambo malt liquor and all that stuff.
Oh, you're an idiot. Do you know that? What are you? You're white, and what are you?
I'm white.
What's your nationality?
Well, I'm a white man, and I enjoy that a lot.
You're white, but what? What are you? Irish, German, Swedish, Polish? What are you?
I'm Greek.
You're Greek?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Greek, all right. You sound like an idiot. And if you're Greek, by the way, pal, there's a good possibility black blood runs in you. Don't you know your history?
Well,
with
hold
the
on.
Black Moors?
Watch it.
Watch it. You watch it.
You sound like a professional wrestler. Are you Hulk Hogan?
Well, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. I can't even, Mr. Hendrie?
Okay, pal. Thanks
I
for.
can't even talk to this man anymore.
I understand.
He's an idiot.
Well, I think you got it all wrong, and you'll see.
Yeah, honestly, you'll be the one who sees, pal. I wish you would come here. And what's your name again, Dean?
My name's Dean Wheeler, and I'm going to. Can you get me a tea time?
I wish you'd come here to Cheviot Hills, and I'd love to see your name down on one of the tee-offs, the tee times. I will do my best to have you barred from here.
Well, wait. I'd like to get an early time.
I'll do everything I could to get you barred from here.
I'd love to get
a racist person.
I'd like to get an early time for Saturday.
Why don't you come down here on Saturday? I'll be here. Why don't you come down here on Saturday?
Okay, that's a deal. I'm coming down. I want to tee off.
Come down on Saturday, and I'll make sure you tee off real good.
Well, that sounds like a threat.
That's a promise. We'll be. You're disgusting. You know that?
Well, that's your opinion.
That's my opinion. You're a disgusting man.
All right, sir. It sounds like you need a drink of water or something, but thank you very much. Lincoln on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Okay, I'm here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm on the radio now?
Did that guy say he put me down for 6 o'clock Saturday?
No, he didn't put you down for 6. Yes, ma'am, you're on the air. Go ahead. You need to turn your radio. Turn the radio down. Turn your radio down. Did you tell her? Turn your radio down, okay?
Okay.
All right. What the hell is that?
What I have to say
my son's got the music turned up.
It's not them are white artists he's listening to. That's what his son being influenced by. That's a Slim Shady, and also I believe it's some porn he's listening to. Okay.
That's Eminem, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Eminem.
Well, but it's black. It's black sounding. It's black sounding. That's the most important thing.
Oh well, I guess they ain't got nothing to do with black sounding. So when you come from talking about how black folks is bad. Okay, let's look at your.
No! I never said black. No, I didn't say black people were bad.
No, that's what I'm getting. What you're saying. Okay, this is what I'm interpreting. Okay.
Right.
All right. This is what I'm interpreting. Now look at your president. He's a white man. Now see how he did things. What you consider that? Huh?
What do I consider?
Worse. Okay.
Oh, I can't understand you. You're doing a lot of the urban discussion.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to get you to understand that you trying to say black folks is bad. Just look at our president.
No, I didn't say blacks are bad. I didn't say they're bad.
Make a good example, right? I'm just trying to get you to see that it's not that what color ain't got nothing to do with. If you're good, you just good. If you bad, you just bad.
Well,
okay?
That's true.
You need to give what honor is due to. Tiger was good. That's all to it. Don't come with this talking about because he won the game, all these 40s and all of that. It's a lot to just show you that black folks have some class also. You just stereotype like the old guy just got off the radio.
Well, how about, can I ask you, what about this rap music here?
How do you know that you don't have nothing in common with Tiger Woods? How do you know you have nothing in common with a black man? Have you ever sat down and talked with one?
How about this rap music?
No. I can't hear you because the radio going on in the background.
That's Britney Spears. That's not rap.
Isn't this hardcore rap?
See, you need to get your son under control for one thing.
Do what?
You need to get your son under control. What I'm trying to get
turn the radio off.
Have nothing in common with a black man.
Brian, turn it off, will you? Jeez, you bug me. Put on some of that.
How do you know you have nothing in common with a black man? Have you ever sat down and talked with one?
I've got black guys that I work with. They're great people.
No. Because if you have some black friends, you won't be on this radio saying the things you saying.
Well, I didn't say anything bad.
No, you don't have black friends. No, you do not. Don't come with that time like you got black friends. Look, I'm raised in the South.
Are you
brought
black?
Up in the South.
Are you
black?
black?
And I want to know when a white man say, I got some black friends, that means he talked to him. When he see him, hey, and how you doing?
Can I ask you a question? Just a quick question.
No, don't you come with that, all right?
Are you a black woman?
am. Yes, I'm a black woman.
Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. I thought I was talking to a white...
No, yes, I am.
Oh, okay. All right, great.
Okay, I understand when a white man says I got some
That explains why you're talking the way you're talking.
Don't come with that, okay?
You didn't know she was black?
No, I had no idea.
Didn't know.
I thought she was Irish.
You stereotype me.
No, I didn't know. You sounded like a normal woman. Not that you're abnormal, but you sounded...
See, I'm saying, you don't
I thought
judge.
you were French or something. There was an accent.
French.
I'm from down south.
Oh, God, I thought you were from Paris or something.
Man, you need
some
help.
Okay.
Well, anyway.
Well, I'll go get some then.
All right, thank you very much. 1-800-449-8686. It's the Phil Hendrie Show, and I'll tell you something. Will you come on with that?
Brian, son, come on. You're bugging them. You're making the talk show host angry.
The Phil Hendrie Show. One 800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show. So yesterday I had the kids with me. I had the three. Actually, Saturday I had the three boys. See, they wanted to see Saving Private.
I'm going to restart the stream with the angriest caller ever, I think, on this show.